Good morning, one and all. Thank you for giving this opportunity. My name is Shobhan. I am from Andhra Pradesh. I have 10 years experience. At present, I am working as a NEET biology faculty in Narayana Colleges, Vijayawada. I have completed my MSc BEd, MA English Literature and PG DCA in Computers. I have received Best Teacher Award from AP Government in 2019. I have good communication skills and hard-working person, self-motivated. I have a passion in teaching. Today, we are going to learn about reproduction in organisms. Reproduction in organisms. So, reproduction is a biological process which an organism gives rise to new individual organisms or offsprings similar to itself, similar to parents. So, this is what we call it as reproduction. Reproduction, it is one of the important life process which perpetuates its races to continue of the life. Reproduction is very important life process. Okay, see, reproduction it occurs in the same species of organisms, right? Okay, now we will learn about the objectives, learning objectives. Learning objectives. Today we are going to learn some of the main topics in the reproduction, such as first one, lifespan and its stages. Lifespan and its stages. Next, about purpose of reproduction. Purpose of reproduction. Asexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction. Methods in asexual reproduction. Methods in asexual reproduction. Vegetative propagation or reproduction. Sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction. Events in sexual reproduction. Events in sexual reproduction. Okay, see the learning objectives. Today we are going to learn lifespan and its stages, purpose of reproduction, asexual reproduction, methods in asexual reproduction, vegetative propagation, sexual reproduction and its definition, events in sexual reproduction. Okay, now we will learn about the life and its stages. life and its stages. First we are going to learn about what is called life. Life means a period from birth to death. That means natural death. A period from birth to natural death is called as life. Okay, see here. So, reproduction is one of the important, that is for to continuation of the life. The continuity of the life on this earth, it is one of the most important life process is reproduction. So, the life, it has some stages. The stages of the life, now we will see. The first one, it is called as juvenility. Juvenility. It is juvenile, it is also called as adolescence or young age. The stage is known as juvenility. Juvenility is also called as young age or the adolescence. Next stage is about the maturity. Maturity. So it is the stage that all the reproductive organisms have the ability to start to reproduce. Next, third one is called as aging and senescence. Aging and senescence. And fourth one is known as death. So here juvenility, it is the stage of young stage, also called as adolescence. And it is the age, what we call it as, in plants we can call it as a vegetative stage. Vegetative stage or phase in plants. Okay, now we will see about the maturity. In maturity, almost the ability of the an organism to produce offspring. Ability to get the ability of an organism to produce offspring is known as maturity. Aging and senescence. Aging is nothing but reach the old age. Old age. It is also called as terminal stage of the reproductive capacity, and it is what we call it as here aging. Aging is in progressive. And here the deterioration of senses. Deterioration of senses, it will going to decrease. Such senses may be like as sight, hearing, body functionings like as muscles and the skin or the bones, etc. They start deterioration, and this is what we call as sensation. What we call is a sensence. What we call it as a sensence. This is the terminal phase of the terminal stage of the life. Next, we can see the death. Death, the sentence, it is finally reach to the death. Okay, see here, life and its stages. Life, see, a period from birth to natural death is called life, and it has some stages. First stage is called juvenility. It is the young stage or adolescence, and it is in plants we can call it as vegetative stage. And maturity, it is the ability of an organism to produce offsprings, and in plants we can call it as reproductive stage. Reproductive stage in plants, like as aging and senescence, and here the old age, it is also called as old age, or it is aging is in progress in this stage, and deterioration of the senses, it will be started, and sight, hearing, all the senses is going decreases, and this is also called as terminal stage of the reproductive capacity or ability. And finally, the death is the last stage in the life, and sentence finally it's reached to the death. Okay. Next, we are going to learn about purpose of reproduction. See, what is the main purpose of reproduction? We know that all the organisms that are exist on this earth continuously only because of the reproduction. So that is the main purpose, and we can say it is that it is a continuity of species. Continuity of species. All the species, they are continuously it is living on this earth only because of reproduction. The next one, we can say it is population organization. Population organization. Third one, variations. Fourth one, life. See, purpose of reproduction, continuity of species. The species, we can say it is to maintain continuity of species. Continuity of a species. Next, population organization. We know that organization of the population, to maintain population organization, such as all the stages of organism, like as young age, young, adult, and aged person. Right? So, to maintain the population organization such as young, adult, and aged persons or organisms. Now, the variation. We already have learned about how the variations that occurs in through the reproduction. In sexual reproduction, many variations we have seen. See, already that at the beginning, the early man, it has most of the characters we know, and at the moderate human beings how they are, and all the organism, whether it is the living organism, all the living organism, they are getting the adaptations or changes, variations. We have seen that is only possible by the reproduction. So what we call it as variations. Variations generally it gives the adaptations in the evolution and changes in the evolution. Variations in the evolutions. Variations in evolution and adapting to the changing environment. Environment, reproduction is required. Next we are going to learn about the life. So to exist life on the earth, reproduction, it is one of the most important life process. Okay, already we have seen continuity of the species and population organization, variations, life. These are the main purposes for the reproduction. Okay, is it clear? Next, we are going to learn about asexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction. Generally, asexual reproduction that occurs in unicellular or single cellular organisms. Here, asexual reproduction is a process does not involve fusion of gametes. There is no involvement of the gametes to fuse to form a new individual organisms. So, this type of organisms, they are exactly the photocopies of the parent plant or parent organisms, exactly that are have the morphologically, genetically, they are same as parent, and it is known as clone. It is also known as clone. So asexual reproduction, we will see the methods of asexual reproduction. First we will see about the fission. FISSION, fission is known as division. Dividing into parts. So the dividing into parts, that may be two or multiple. Dividing into parts, whether it is two or multiple of the parent body. What is here? It is dividing. It is dividing the body of the parent maybe into two parts. If it is divided into two parts, we can say it is a binary fission. Binary fission, example amoeba. It is a multiple fission. Example plasmodium. Right? So here binary fission. We will see the binary fission in amoeba. Amoeba is consisting of food vacuole, nucleus and cytoplasm. Generally, we know that pseudopodias are present in the amoeba. Pseudopodia, it is pseudo means false, podia means feet. False feet are present and it will move according to the movement of the cytoplasm in the amoeba. It is used for capturing the food or searching for the food. And here the nucleus is the main the organelle which helps to divide into two. So this amoeba, it will be the nucleus starts dividing, then automatically the body of the amoeba also divides in the same manner. So this is the nucleus. Here the nucleus started dividing and body of the amoeba also it is started dividing. Okay, now we will see the daughter amoeba or the daughter amoeba, two daughter amoebas that are propagated by means of cutting, that what we call it as a binary fission. Binary fission. Okay, so one it is divided into two, it is known as binary fission. Okay, next we will see it is in the amoeba. Next we will see in the chlamydomonas. Sorry, it is in plasmodium. Plasmodium. We know that plasmodium is a parasite and it causes the malarial disease, and when it causes malarial disease in the blood of the human beings, and it is also present in the digestive system of the mosquito also. So when it is in the red blood cells of the human beings, then it produces the strigones, and that strigones, number of strigones will be produced, and this generally we can see here the plasmodium as a nucleus, and this nucleus it starts dividing into multiple times, and here this the division of how many times if it is divided, that many merozoites that are released into the blood. So here we will come to know that the merozoites are the when it is produced, merozoites are released into the blood of an organism, mainly into the human beings of the RBC red blood cells. That number of merozoites that are released into the body blood. So this is multiple video. What it is going on? The nucleus it has divided many times and multiple times. So what we call it as multiple fission. Multiple fission. This is observed in plasmodium. Okay, this is about the fission, binary fission. It is also seen in what it is, paramecium or euglena, and like these are all single cellular organisms and protozoans, mostly protozoans. So in this type of binary fission and multiple fission we can see. Okay, next we are going to learn another method which is reproduced by the asexual reproduction in organisms. The method is known as budding. Budding is also an asexual reproduction. See here, the budding means a small projection arises on parent body especially where the softens it occurs on the body. So these small projections we can call it as buds. Example, yeast, hydra. Yeast, hydra are the best examples, and sponges also we can see this type of body. Right? Now we are going to learn about the yeast. See, the yeast cells here, some of the corner of the body it will be become softened. From the softened part, small eruption it will be occurs, or small projection it will be occurs, and this projection we can say it is a budding. Like that, new buds are formed on the body that it is propagated as a new individual organism. This type of reproduction is also called as the budding. Is a asexual reproduction, and it is also called as the budding in the yeast. Bud is formed, new bud is formed. Okay, and likewise in hydra also we can see here mouth of the hydra and the body, and some particular places and some of the places small projections that are arises, and these particular the projections we can say it is budding. The bud it is produced formed, and it is known as budding. It is known as a budding. It is one of the asexual reproduction. Here there is no involvement of the fusion of the gametes. There is no fusion of gametes. So it is exactly, see how this the yeast it is similar to the same genetically as well as morphologically. It is the same as a parent. Such daughter cells will be possible in asexual reproduction, especially in some of the organisms. Right? Okay. Next we will learn another method of the asexual reproduction, that what we call it as sporulation, is known as sporulation. Sporulation is also called as spore formation. Sporulation, or it is also called as spore formation. Sporulation or spore formation. See, the spores it will be produced in the organisms. Due to the formation of the spores, they will be germinate and they will be propagated as a new individual organism. So the spores will be germinate and propagated as a new individuals. So spores germinate and develops as offsprings. We know that daughter cells or offsprings are new individuals, whatever they are, that are produced from the parent organisms. Okay, see here the sporulation. Example, penicillium, and sponges, chlamydomonas, chlamydomonas are the example for the organisms which are reproduced by sporulation or spore formation. Right? Now we will see one of the organism, that is penicillium. So on the conidias, the spores in the penicillium are called as conidia. Okay, these conidias they are separate and they will be germinate as a new individual one, and such spores are called as conidia in penicillium. They are called conidia in penicillium. Next we will see about the sponges of chlamydomonas. See here, chlamydomonas, we know the organism. Chlamydomonas, this is chlamydomonas, and here the chlamydomonas, it produces the large number of daughter cells, what we call it as juice spores. These are called juice spores, and in the penicillium it is called as conidia. So likewise we can see gemmules also will be produced in the sponges. See, so these are gemmules in sponges. So all these are the example for the sporulation. See, sporulation as spore formation, and the spores will be germinate and develops as a offsprings, and more number of the daughter cells will be produced by this method, especially that it is in the organism like as penicillium, sponges or chlamydomonas. In penicillium, the spores we call it as a conidia, and in chlamydomonas we call it as juice spores, and if it is sponges we call it as gemmules, right? So this is a very important topic and it important for the MCQs for the NEET program. Okay, right? Now we will learn another method of the asexual reproduction. Okay, next we are going to learn about another method is known as fragmentation. Fragmentation. The small divide into or cut into pieces, cut into small pieces. That what we call it as fragments. So the whole body of an organism, it will be produced from the small fragment of the parent body. So the parent body it is divided into small fragments, and each fragment it will be develops as a whole body or new individual organism is called as fragmentation. The whole body of an organism produced from small fragment. Small fragment is called fragmentation, right? So here example for the fragmentation: planaria, starfish, and sponges. Sponges like almost fungus also, almost all the fungus also they are propagated by means of fragmentation. The filaments, the spores, it will be divided and that it will be gives rise as a new individual organism. We will see the planaria. The cut portion of the planaria, it will be propagated as, it will be developed as, it will be reproduced as new organism, new individual organism. And even if you see the starfish, if any arm that it is accidentally, if it is cuts, also this will be propagated as a whole organism or complete organism. So like that, the new organisms are propagated by means of fragmentation or fragmentation. Okay, fragmentation. Here sponges also, we know that the body is a filamentous body, and this body if it is cuts any portion of the filamentous body, this it will be, if it cuts this each one, it will be propagated as a new individual organism. That is about the fragmentation. Next we are going to learn about what it is regeneration. Next we are going to learn about the regeneration. Regeneration, it is also nothing but the cut part, it will be regained. It is getting again, is known as regeneration. This is also, and not only getting the gaining of the cutted parts or removed parts, and also it will be propagated as the whole organism. So here we can see that the parts which are lost by accidentally or wantedly, that they will be regained by an organism, is known as regeneration. In this method, it is also have the capability of developing as new individual organism. So regeneration, it is also asexual reproduction. Example for the regeneration, what we call it as lizard. We know that the lizard, tails of the lizard, it will be cut and again they will be regained, the cut portion. It is also called as what we call it as regeneration. Or earthworm. And most of the invertebrates that they will be get their body parts, not only the unicellular organisms. So here the tail of the tail of the lizard, that it will be regains the cutted part of the tail. It will be regains in by the process of regeneration, right? By the process of regeneration, the tails we can get it again, the cut portion we can get it again. This type of reproduction is called as regeneration. We can also see in starfish, planaria, and some others. And asexual reproduction, vegetative propagation is also vegetative propagation also it is a asexual reproduction. So vegetative reproduction, it is a particular separate the topic we will be learn separately about the vegetative propagation. Okay, next we are going to learn about the vegetative propagation. Is also called as vegetative reproduction. Vegetative propagation or vegetative reproduction. Generally we know that here also there is no involvement of fusion of gametes. See here, only the vegetative parts, only through the vegetative parts of the plants, the new individual plants will be produced. That what we call it as vegetative propagation. Vegetative propagation means the new plants are propagated by means of vegetative parts, vegetative units or parts such as stems, roots, next stems, roots, leaf and bulbils. Stems, roots, leaf or leaves or bulbils, right? So by these parts, these are actually vegetative parts. There is no gametes that are present in these parts. And see, these are called what we call it as somatic parts, vegetative parts. These are so the vegetative parts of the plants such as stem, root, leaf and bulbils are the vegetative parts, and reproductive parts like as a flower. Flower, it is a reproductive part and it is develops as the fruit and then the seeds and all these they're involved there in the flower. We can see unisexual flowers, bisexual flowers, and unisexual means only male gamete or female gametes likewise that are present. Gametes are there in reproductive parts only, but here vegetative parts only, it will be propagated as a new individual plant. So it is called as vegetative propagation or vegetative reproduction. Vegetative propagation or vegetative reproduction. Okay, here vegetative parts, we have discussed vegetative parts. First we are going to learn about the stem. Stem, it is divided into two types. Underground stem and subaerious stem. It is also called as creeping stem. Stem, it is a vegetative part of the plant and it is divided into two types, underground stems and subaerial stem, underground stem. See, now first we are going to learn about the underground stems. Underground stem modifications. Okay, underground stem modifications. Such as tubers, bulbs, corms, and rhizomes. So, first we will learn about the tubers. Tubers. The tubers are underground stem modified, and they have stored the food molecule, food items, food compounds. So the food compounds, they are stored in there, especially in potato. The examples for this: underground stems which store food compounds in them, in the tubers. So example: potatoes and yams. We will see the potato. Potato, already we have learned, it is a stem modification. It is underground stem, stems especially modified as a tubers. See this on the potato, there are the notches are present. These notches look like as a eye, and so they are called as eyes of potato. They are called as the eyes of potato, and this eye, it is propagated as new individual pot, new individual plant. This cut portion, what are these? These are called eyes of potato. Eye of a potato. So the eye of potato, each eye, if it is cut and placed in the soil, then that it will be propagated as a new individual plant. So there is no involvement of the gametes, there is no involvement of fusion of gametes, there is no formation of gametes even. So such type of the organization, the type propagation we can see in tubers, and you can see yams also, especially they also will be propagated by means of some like notches on the yam. Okay, this is about the tubers. Tubers are underground stems which are stored the food components, and stem modified as a tubers. Stem modified as a underground stem modified as tubers. Okay, next we will be learn the second one is about the bulbs. See, the bulbs are condensed food that it is stored in the stem. Condensed food that is stored in the stem, underground stem. It is called as bulbs. Examples are onion and garlic. Here we know that onions, these parts, what we call it as the stems, underground stems. And here these are leaves. The leaves are, it is formed like a bulbs. Okay. and this it will be propagate as a new individual plant. These are advantageous roots and these are the leaves and this it is the stem. So like that the onions is a bulb. That means what it is, the underground stem that modified as a bulb, and it is propagated by means of stems, underground stems. Next, we know that garlic also an underground stem which will be propagated by means of bulbs, right? Advantageous roots will be present. So these are the example for the bulbs. Next we are going to learn about the corms. Corms are generally, these are also the stem modified, and they also especially stores the food in them, and also they will grow vertical. The growth of the corms, it will be vertical. Right? See here the example for the corms are colocasia, gladiolus, and crocus. These are the example for the corms, and we know that the colocasia, the growth of the colocasia, it will be the growth is horizontal. What it is, the colocasia, gladiolus or the crocus, the growth of these corms, it will grow horizontal. Right? This is about the corms. Next we are going to, these examples are also very important for the MCQs. For example, gladius is the modified stem of what it is, tubers, bulbs, corms, rhizomes. Like that options will be given. So what is the answer? The answer is the corms. Gladiolus is the example for the corms, right? So like that MCQs can ask, and all the, see here the underground stem which grows vertical, we can say it is corms. Corms are grows vertical, right? Okay, now we will learn about the rhizomes. Rhizomes also underground stem modified, and the stem modification, and they will be stored the food, and they will be grow horizontal. We have learned corms are grown as a vertical, and here the rhizomes are grows horizontal. Examples: ginger and turmeric. Ginger and turmeric, these it will be grown as they have stored the food in them, and they will grow horizontal. So the new or young buds that it will be propagated as a new individual plant. To know that it is a stem, we can see the scales on this. By this we can come to know that it is the stem. So whether it is ginger or the turmeric, they will be grow horizontally, and they will be grow by propagate of young stems which are on the stem. Right? This is about the rhizomes. Now we will learn about underground Underground stems already we have completed. Now subaerial stems. Vegetative propagation by means of stem. So through the stems we can new plants can be propagated, what we call it as vegetative propagation. Now we will see subaerial stems or creeping stems. Subaerial stems are creeping stems. Okay, why it is called as creeping stems? Because they are weak and they can grow horizontally on the above the ground. Examples are runners. Methods: subaerial stems, they will be propagated by means of different methods. In that, the first one is called as runners. Next, stolons. Next, offsets and suckers. Right? What are that? Subaerial stems, runners, stolons, offsets, suckers. By these methods, they will propagate it as a new individual or new plants. Now we will see the runners. Example for the runners are all grass plants. Grass plants are example for the runners. We will see how they will be grow. They will be grow horizontally and they have the nodes and internodes and they are the weak stems and so they are creep on the above the ground. And here where it is having the node, what is this? Node. This is the node, another node. So in between the two nodes it is called as internode. And internodal portion, when it cuts, then each one it will propagate as new individual plant. So the node where it is touches to the ground, it is advantageous roots it will be produced towards the gravity. Above the against the gravity, the shoots are developed and new individual plant will be produced. Right? Okay, so advantageous roots, these are called advantageous roots and these are axillary buds. Axillary buds are developed as a shoots. So new individual plants are developed here by means of runners. Fibrous roots are present here. Fibrous are fleshy roots that are present in grass plant, right? So if you cut this internodal portion, each plant it will be propagated as a new individual plant. Here also there is no involvement of the fusion. There is no involvement of gametes. There is no fusion of gametes, and there is only the vegetative parts that are propagated as new individual plants. Now next about the method in subaerial stems that is called as stolons. Stolons also, these are what we call it as subaerial stems, and these stems some portion of examples for the stolons are strawberry, vallisneria. Strawberry and vallisneria. These it will be grow some part of the horizontal. It is also horizontal stems. It will grow horizontally, and the stems the stems, it will be some portion where it is attached to the ground, that it will give rise as a fibrous roots, that what we call advantageous roots, and the stems, it will be grow into the air. It will be grow into the air, and then it will be touches to the ground, and where it is touches, advantageous roots will be produced, and the new plant, it will be gives rise. So like that, little bit it will be goes into the aerial, and then it will be touches to the ground. This type of growth, we can say these are stolons. They are called as stolons, right? So these are the examples. Stolons, for the stolons, strawberry and vallisneria are the example. It will be grow in this way, and some stem part, it will be grows into the air. If you cut here, then it will be propagated as new individual plant, right? This type of propagation is by the vegetative propagation in the subaerial stems, right? Next example for the subaerial stems are called offsets. Offsets are the, actually these plants, they will grow in water. They will grow in water. So the water, it will be advantageous roots are formed in the water, and against the water, it will float. The plant, it will be float on the water, and the stems, it will be propagated as a new individual plant. This is also grows horizontally, but it is in the water. So this type of propagation is called as offsets. We can see this type of offset propagation in Pistia and Eichhorn. Right? Pistia and Eichhorn are the example for the offsets. Right? Okay? Do you understand? Now, another method in the propagation of the vegetative propagation by means of subaerial stems, that is about the suckers. Why it is called suckers? The roots which will grow under the ground, it will suck the nutrient, so are called as suckers. You will see the suckers, they will be grow on the horizon. It will grow horizontally on the ground, above the ground, so it is called as subaerial. And here the roots which are in the area, which are in the ground, underground, and it will be grow inside, and they will suck the nutrient. They will suck the nutrients, and it will comes out onto the aerial, and to develop as a new individual plant, to get the plants. So this type of growth, we will see the roots, it will grow underground, the shoots, it will grow above the ground. That what we call it as aerial. So subaerial, some it is inside, some it is above the, like hook, how it will be, some inside, some outside. In the same way, here also the roots, some they will be grow under the ground, underground, and shoots, it will be comes out to propagate new individual. So if you cut here in between the two plants, each one will be propagated as a new individual organism. Example for the suckers are chrysanthemum, and mint. Mint and chrysanthemum are the example for the suckers. Okay, now stem it has completed. Stem it is the vegetative parts of the plant, like as a stem, root, leaf, and bulbils. We have completed the stem. Now we are going to discuss about the root. We are going to discuss about the root. So roots are root is also vegetative part, that which helps to propagate new individual plants without fusion and formation of gametes. Here the root is divided into two types such as taproot and fleshy root or fibrous root. Taproots, fleshy roots. We can see about the taproots. Example for the taproots are carrot, beetroot. Carrot, beetroot. And fleshy roots example, sweet potato. And here moraya also. So see here, now we will see about the carrots. How carrots will be grow? These are the root modifications. These are the root modification. Roots are stores the food in the underground, and above the ground shoots will be develops. This is a type of taproot modification which grows as new individual plant. And these root parts, the root parts if cut and if it is placed in the soil, it will be propagated as a new individual plant. Even what it is beetroot also a tuber. Root modification which will be propagated by means of root cuttings, by means of a root cut. If we cut the root part and if it is placed, then it will be propagated as new individual plant. And we know that moraya, it is curry leaf plants. If you observe the curry leaf plants, if you go to the curry leaf plant and if you see the ground, we can see many of the curry leaf small plants arises from the roots. So the new plants are propagated by means of root cuttings. That is about the taproot cutting. Next we will see the sweet potato, that is propagated by means of fleshy roots. See here the sweet potato. Sweet potatoes, it is fleshy roots or fibrous roots, and this it will be propagated by the fleshy roots, and each one if it is cut and placed in the soil, then it will be propagated as new individual plant. So here also there is no involvement of gametes, and there is no fusion of gametes. Only it is propagated by means of vegetative parts of the plant, right? Next, roots completed. Next, the vegetative part of the plant is called as a leaf. Leaf is considered as a vegetative part of the plant. Leaf also can propagate it by means of leaf buds. The leaf buds are called as epiphyllous buds. Generally we will see in the bryophyllum. So leaves propagated by means of leaves. Examples are begonia and bryophyllum. Bryophyllum is also called as ranapala. You see begonia leaf. Actually, the begonia leaves are very long ones, and the margins of the begonia leaves, the new buds are propagated, and advantageous roots will be produced entire the leaf, and they are, if these buds if it is cut and placed in the soil, they are propagated as new individual plants. New individual plants. Begonia. Begonia are the example for the plants which are propagated by means of a leaf. And bryophyllum, that we can see Ranapala. Common name it is Ranapala, and leaf notches are present. Here on the notch, new plant will be propagated, and this type of notches are called as epipillous buds. Epipillous buds. So through the buds, epipillous buds, it is propagated. The leaf buds, the new plants are arises and propagate by means of leaf buds that are called as advantageous roots and shoots are developed, and this gives rise as a new individual plant, and each one it is considered as a new individual plant when it is sown in the soil. So this type of propagation is also possible by the leaves. Next one is called as the bulbils. Bulbils, it is the shoot grows actually from the shoots or stems. It will be propagated as a, actually that is also, it is a type of asexual reproduction, and it is vegetative reproduction. And here the aerial stems are propagated as new individual plants. Examples for these are pineapple and agave. Agave and pineapple are the plants that are propagated by means of stems, aerial stems, and they are called as bulbils. We can see pineapple, so this pineapple, if we cut here and placed in the soil, then it will be grows as a new individual plant. And agave also, the aerial stem, that is what we call it as bulbil, and this, if it is propagated as a new individual, grows as a new individual plants. So these are the examples for the vegetative propagation, the methods and examples for the vegetative propagation, right? So vegetative propagation, it is asexual mode of reproduction. Next we are going to learn about the sexual reproduction. Okay, we have learned vegetative propagation and asexual reproduction, purpose of reproduction, lifespan and stages. So just we will see some of the MCQ questions, right? MCQs, multiple choice questions, and it is important for the NEET. See, first question we are going to learn: modified stem present in gladiolus is. Modified stem present in gladiolus. It is the example for one of the modifying stem. So whether it is bulb, rhizome, cord, or bulbis. See here, we know that bulb, it is the example for the bulbs are onion and garlic, and it is also condensed stored food that it is which modified as a stem into the bulb. So this is not the correct answer. Next we will see about the rhizomes. Rhizomes are horizontal growths that modified of the stem into the and grows. Examples are ginger and turmeric. Ginger and turmeric. Next, we will see here corn. Corn, it is vertical growth in the underground, and it is modified stem. It stores the food. And examples are, we have discussed crocus, colocasia, and gladiolus. So gladiolus is the corm which grows vertically and stored, and it is the modified stem. It is a modified stem. So answer is corn. And now we will see about bulbils also. Bulbils that are propagated by means of axillary buds. And examples such as pineapple and agave. So it is also not. This is not correct answer. This is not correct answer. This is not a correct answer. The correct answer is corn, because it is gladiolus is the example for the corn. Next question we will see about which of the following is a subaerial stems. What stems these are? Subaerial stem that modified with long internodes. So where the long internodes are present, and especially in the subaerial stem modifications, see rhizomes. We know that rhizomes are not subaerial stems. These are the rhizomes are stem modifications, and which grows horizontal like as the ginger and the turmeric. So it is not correct answer. Next, offsets. See that offsets also. These are the what it is subaerial stem modifications only, but offsets will grow in water. So it is what we call, the examples are Eichhornia and Pistia. So this is also not correct answer. Next we will see about the runners. So runners, if you see, it is runners are the subaerial horizontal growths, and which have the nodes and internodes, which have the long internodes and propagated by means of subaerial stem. So it is the right answer. Next we will see suckers. Suckers also, it is subaerial stems, but the suckers which grows, the roots grows inside the soil, inside the ground, and it comes out to the aerial, and it has no long internodes. So this is also not correct answer. So the right answer and correct answer is runners. Runners, it is a subaerial stem and modification, as well as long internodes are present. Is it clear? Right. Next, another question. Which of the following pair is correctly matched? The correctly matched pair we should identify, recognize. So first one, onion bulb, ginger sucker, yeast juice spores, Chlamydomonas conidia. Chlamydomonas conidia. Chlamydomonas, what are the what we call the spores in the Chlamydomonas? This is example for sporulation, right? We have learned, and the spores are called as juice spores. Juice spores in this, and so it is not correct matched. Chlamydomonas conidia is not correct matched. Next, yeast and juice spores. Yeast, we have learned about the yeast in the sporulation, that it is the yeast, it's spores in the form of conidia. So yeast juice spores is also not a correct match. Next we will see the ginger and sucker. Ginger is it is the rhizome. Ginger is the rhizome, and here sucker is the separate. It is underground stem modification. It is underground subaerial stem modification, right? So this is also not suckers means we should give the example as chrysanthemum or mint. So it is also not correct answer. Next, onion and bulb. Yes, onions, example, the bulbs are produced by the bulb, especially condensed state of the underground stem modification, that it is stored food, it is in the form of bulb. Example, onion and garlic. So onion and bulb is the correct matched for this question. Right. Now another question we will be learn. Sweet potato is a modification of. Sweet potato is a modification of. See what type of modification it is. Stem modification, advantageous, root modification, tuber or corm. We know that corm is what it is underground stem modification. Underground stem modification. Here what it is asked what type of, and see sweet potato is what type of, is a modification of that. And here see that it is corm examples we have seen gladiolus and colcasia as well as the crocus. It's not a correct answer for the sweet potato. Next tubers. We have seen tubers, potato and yams, and they are also stem modification. It is not correct one. Actually sweet potato, what type of modification? Root modification. Sweet potato is a fleshy root modification. So fleshy root modification, we can see whether it is the stem. No, it is not a stem modification, root modification. So what is the answer? Advantageous root modification. That advantageous roots, or it is also called fleshy roots, fibrous roots, that are the example. Sweet potato is propagated by means of fleshy roots, right? So these are the some of the example for the multiple choice questions, MCQs, and these are important in the view of NEET. Just I am giving the examples. These may